Hey everyone, welcome back to this week's edition of WCM's Park Update Supplier Showcase. Today, my guest joining me is somebody I've known for a couple years now, Terry Broussard, CEO and co-founder of Spot2Nite. Terry, I'll leave it to you for a quick introduction. You have been in our news and headlines a lot lately. You just had a big funding round, and you guys are doing some really, really cool and innovative stuff. Just tell everyone a little bit about what Spot2Nite is for people who might not know.
Sure thing, Alex. And again, thanks for having me. So, Spot Tonight is really a product of campers. My son in law and I had a frustrating evening one day trying to find a campground, and we figured there had to be a better way. And so we got pretty savvy on reservation systems and the technology behind it, and found an opportunity to really deliver that directly to the camper, either in a handheld device or on the web. And thus, Spot Tonight was born.
And we'll just talk briefly here about that funding round that I mentioned. You were able to raise some funds to be able to go out and market the product and continue to grow. And you guys work with a lot of different PMS providers, and you're continuing to expand and attract more consumers. So just talk very briefly about what that means for you at this point in the state of Spot2Nite.
Well, I think first off, it serves as a testament to our team that we built here. Every great leader is surrounded by a highly successful and efficient, organized team that is very productive. Our engineering team is phenomenal, and they clearly can take the back of a napkin idea and bring it to life as what you see in Spot Tonight. And for us, this gives us the opportunity to grow even more integrations and more opportunities and developments, some of which will be coming out here in the coming weeks, with some new business ventures that we're starting as well along the camping reservation arena. That alone right there, and the fact that we have a very tight and small group of investors that continue to like what we're doing, continuing to like our consistent strategic delivery of the market and the tools that we put in place, and our growth curve, which has shown. The first year I was demoing at the Tampa RV Super Show. I had just a PowerPoint slideshow. I think the next year I had 40 parks. I think this year I was at five something, and now I'm up over 800 plus directly connected parks. And we're getting ready to turn on what will be our 10th integration into a park management system. And so for us, that's huge, and again, for the travelers, it's huge because the traveler, as you know, in the app, basically fills out their profile, tells us who they are, how they like to camp, what they're camping with, and then the magic is worked in our logic pathway to deliver parks that actually have a spot for them tonight, as well as, I've got people booking next year already. So Spot Tonight and beyond.
Exactly. And as you mentioned there, with the growth, there are a number of parks that use this. Sometimes OTAs in the travel industry as a whole get sort of a little bit of a bad rap. But I know within our camping industry, you guys have a fantastic reputation, and so many parks see the value from this. Can you just touch on that? If somebody might be like, "Oh, I know what an OTA is. I don't really want to do that." Like, what makes you different, and why have so many parks seen success generating more revenue with your product?
Oh, absolutely. Well, first off, a lot of the parks may have one person maybe on the desk, right? We've all been there. We've stood in line while they're balancing phone calls. They've got someone coming in next week, but you're standing in line waiting to arrive or depart the park. And so it's a little bit of frustration and customer service there. We provide all of that for our travelers, right? If you book through Spot Tonight, we handle all of the adjustments. We communicate with the park and administer the park's cancellation rules and policies. So, as I tell many park operators, basically you're getting a free 24/7 customer service desk. I generally tell them 23/7 just in case we miss a call, right, for during that 1 hour break. But anyway, they get that free service right there to be the voice of Spot Tonight, and we manage that reservation for them. And so basically, while they're tied up on the phone talking to someone about what's the best spot with lake view, travelers can actually go in our app, see the map, see the spots, and then pick a category, lake view or whatever, however we have it defined in there, with the assurance knowing that they're going to have that spot that meets their requirements, again, on the date and time that they want to be there.
And as you just touched there, Terry, with the consumer side, that's another huge benefit if I'm a park saying you're already out there reaching consumers, people who have downloaded the app that are using this product to regularly book their trips. So it really is something that is a continued free marketing tool. Touch a little bit about, we do have consumers that listen and consume our content, and a number of people who, even within our industry, who like to travel and do this. Why is this really one of the best spots for one-stop shopping that, as you said, allows you to sort, integrate with all the different 9 or 10 PMS providers that you work with, and be able to really quickly basically see all of the inventory within the camping industry in one spot?
Oh, absolutely, Alex. So take for example the traveler that decides I'm either going down the road winging it, like I talk to a lot of
Mm-hmm.
travelers, and suddenly they decide maybe I can go an hour further, and they're driving the RV, and here comes that campground sign. They're either, which they're not supposed to do, dial it, or their travel partner does. They get a call. They're an hour now past that spot. Well, they're not doubling back. What I always teach people to do is while you're stopped getting gas, hit that campgrounds near me button and just expand the map and look forward down the highway to find that next spot. So now you have a safe, definitive endpoint and you can book it right there and you know about it. We also have a wide variety of parks with searchable amenities from lazy rivers to fishing to fire pits on site, all of that. And the traveler can define that experience that they want and load it in there and then return parks that have that experience. We have parks that have one spot on a whole system, all the way up to over 1,100 spots, fully capable resorts. So I always tell people if you want to sit down on a rock bed river in South Texas and read a book and get away and disconnect, I've got your spot. If you want to go on a lazy river and bring all the kids and grandkids and just have a blast, a family reunion or whatever, I got all those spots. So it really is a unique experience finder for all of our campers. And we're just so excited that it's come together because let's face it, we're all consumers, right? Sam and I are consumers of the camping industry as well. And it just works.
No, we're recording this here right after the Memorial Day holiday. And as you and I discussed before we started recording, it was a really, really busy time, and it's sort of a really good kickoff to the camping season. But for some parks, their site nights might be starting to slow down a little bit. So this is a really great time, especially if somebody is a campground and saying, hey, we really need help reaching that next level of consumers, being able to find exactly what we can provide and detail that. Why would now be a good time for a park to consider joining? And can you touch on how does that process work if somebody wants to get listed and connect with Spot2Nite?
Well, connecting to Spot2Nite is extremely easy. They can simply go to our partners.spot2nite.com page, and there'll be a connection form, and our connection team will reach out. Once they do their side of the piece of that reservation system that they're working, and the whole list of all of our integration partners is listed there. And once they do that connecting part, then our team will bring over the spots availability. We form it up. We don't just send you a link and tell you have to do this and do that. We actually build it all out. And then just like that, their availability will appear in the app. So immediately, with zero effort essentially on their part, it is live and in the app. And again, that was by design. So let's face it, we've all been there. We've all had great conversations with park owners when we're trying to pack up. And these park owners that you just saw checking you in, they're riding around the golf carts now picking up the garbage, right? It's a hands-on business. So the last thing I wanted to do is give them something else they had to put their hands on. So I always tell them it is extremely easy. You don't even have to log in if you don't want to. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, and then the reservations will just come to you, and it'll just operate seamlessly. And so that's really the benefit for the park owners.
Exactly. And the other thing I'll mention is it connects, as you said, with that PMS system so that if somebody makes the booking, you're not double booking that spot. It's working directly with all of the things you already have in place. As we close up, Terry, can you talk a little bit about the cost as far as for if a park were to join and participate in this? Of course, that's the $1 million question, right? And then also for consumers, what's the best way that they can start to use this, download the app, and get connected and see the
Sure.
availability for these sites?
Well, again, I give the same quote that we gave at Arvik OSHA last year, which was free, free, free.
That's
Three
right.
three quotes for the park, right? Free, 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 because we don't charge a connection fee. Different reservation systems have different processes in place that they get connected to, whether they buy that module or not. That's between them and the reservation system. But nonetheless, to connect us is free. And again, we do all of the work. On the consumer side, we are convenience fee based, very much like all of the other OTAs. You mentioned that earlier in the hotel motel business. So we do charge our consumers I call it kind of a location convenience fee, right? And certainly much less than Airbnb or Booking.com or some of those others that really, I mean, let's just face it, it is a value added in the time search. And some travelers say, well, I can just find, book the park and whatever. And other people, they know that it's not that easy.
Hmm.
It used to be, okay, I'll just pick the big book up or I'll use an internet search and find parks near me. Then I got to call them, or then I get on their website and have to put all that park RV data, get to the bottom only to be told, got nothing, done. Got to come back out, go back down to the next park. And it's just an endless search, and ours does all of that. So as we grow the connected parks, it's our vision that someone will always be able to find a park where they're going, right? That meets their needs for that time, whether it is a family getaway, just disconnect, or it's what I call mission camping, where you have to be in a certain town for a family event, a wedding, a
Hmm.
baptism, something along that. Graduation's a big time. We saw a lot of camp movement then. So again, those different things. We will generally have a park in those areas, and you can, by the way, just do your search. You always got to build your profile first because we have to know what we're trying to put in the square, and then just pan the map back and let it populate as you search, and you'll start seeing all the parks appear.
And then Terry, the final question is, what's the contact information for Spot2Nite? Where can people go to either learn more to list their park, or go to actually download the app and start traveling?
Sure, let's just take it right to the top. The website, of course, is spot the number two NITE spot2nite.com. Travelers and park searchers can just see that. If our park operators go to that page and just go down to the bottom, it'll say list your property, and that will take you to the partners page. I will tell you also, for the park operators, there is a very handy and interactive tool there, a calculator tool that uses recent data that we've seen on parks where they can apply it to their park. And it shows the potential savings and earnings that they can make by connecting to Spot2Nite.
Terry, thanks again for being here.
Thank you so much, Alex. It was great having you, and we look forward to seeing you again.
Absolutely. All right, everyone. If you want to learn more about Spot2Nite, we'll have that information down below. Just remember, you can listen to WCM's Park Update and our Supplier Showcase series on Facebook, YouTube, and it's also available as a podcast. All right, guys. We'll see you back here next week. Thanks.